Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Y'all, come on in. Welcome to my studio. We're doing lettering today. Let's see if it's pulling up for I see it. So we're good. I always feel better if I can see it actually live on Facebook. Because I have been just a talking and it not be live. So let me get this shared over for our Creative Hearts. Y'all let me know how you're doing. And are you having beautiful weather? We sure are. Okay. There it is. Always puts it close to the bottom. Y'all tell me how you're doing. Happy Tuesday, Roxy. Hello, Wendy and Jennifer. I'm glad you caught it live too. I was having to miss a good bit when my mom was so sick, and I haven't totally got back on a good rhythm yet, but I'm getting closer. Getting closer. Hey April, it's good to see you here. Hello, Bobby. Tell me, are y'all having beautiful weather up there? I bet you are. April's in New York, Bobby. So y'all are kind of sort of close. It's beautiful here. Okay, so I'm knocking everything over. I just got back from physical therapy, so all my stuff is kind of strewn around. But we're going to get started. We're going to get going. Hey, Marilyn. Hello, Julia and Debbie. So we've got a couple of things that I would like for us to talk about today. Our verse for this week is 2 Corinthians 12:9. I'm bad about transposing numbers, so I wanted to make sure it's 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse number 9. So we're going to look at that, but I wanted, before we start lettering, I want to show y'all a couple of things for tracing, because tomorrow is the Be Thankful event that I'm doing with Shelly and Christy and my friend Meg. So let me see if I can get that link in there for y'all so that you can it's not like signing up, but if you subscribe, let me put it in here. For notifications, you'll get a notification for it. But we're doing this tomorrow at 1:30, and I think it's 1:30. Let me look at my notes. 1:30, and then on Friday, I will continue what I started teaching. So let me tell you what we're doing. So on Thursday, it's all about acorns. And so there's 4 of us. We each have an acorn project that we're going to present. And I will be doing watercolor with my acorns. And you'll have to join us to see what everybody else is doing. But I've also my session is like a taste or an appetizer for what we're going to do on Friday. So if you enjoy watercolor, and if you have been following me for a while, which y'all have, you also know I love to make journals. So on Friday, we're going to make oh goodness, where's my little journal? Here it is. It's under my Bible. We're going to make a thankful heart journal. So this is what we're going to work on Friday. So join me and my buddies on Thursday at 1:30, and I'm going to teach you how to paint acorns. And I've got lots of different shapes. And a lot of you have already signed up for the kit. Brandy's been shipping those out. You can get the traceables. If you don't want to get the kit, you can also get the traceables. But it's basically, let me see if I can pull it up. It's prompts. It's journaling prompts and some line art for the traceables. And so what I mean by journaling prompts is, let me get one of the pages. These things really help me to have prompts like this. And one of the things that's the inspiration is a book that Anne Voskamp wrote called 1000 Gifts. If you don't have it, I really, really recommend it. It's really good. And she talks about, I think it's kind of like training yourself to look for his gifts because they're everywhere. His gifts are everywhere. And the more we start noticing them, the more trained, maybe that's a better word, our eye becomes for seeing it. It's everywhere. And she goes as simple as, let's see if I've got this on here for you. She goes as simple in her listing. And the reason it's called 1000 Gifts is she's got a challenge to notice 1000 gifts and to list them in her little book, her little journal. So we're doing something similar. We're going to make a pretty decorative journal, and we're going to be using it's a half composition notebook. I got to remember to go get myself another one because I've already covered the one that I had, and you could use any size notebook, but I wanted to use one of these half notebooks, and I'll show you why. But it's all about noticing the little things, like rain on the windowsill, a flower, and she's specific. It might be, for me, I see blooms on the angel trumpet plant, and they smell so good. It's slowing down and noticing those things. So I really feel like this is going to be a really special project. So we will start it on Thursday. I'm going to teach how to paint the acorns. Then on Friday, I normally go live every Friday anyway at noon. Friday's live will be probably an hour and a half. We're going to build out the framework for our journal. Good. I need to get myself another one, April. We'll build the framework, and then in Creative Hearts in November, we'll just continue adding to this. So through the end of the year, we want to fill it up. And then in the winter, in January, maybe we'll start another one. We'll see. We'll see what y'all think about it. But I think it's going to be a really good exercise for our heart, for our mind. I had a quote, and I'll read it again. That just really, it's been in the studio bathroom for a long time, so it's very faded. So I'm going to letter this today. Gratitude transforms overwhelmed strugglers into triumphant conquerors, even if the circumstances remain unchanged. Even if. So we'll be doing a thankful heart journal on Friday. All right. So I think we might have about maybe 5 kits left. I don't know that for sure, but if you didn't get a kit and you want to get a kit, we have color coordinated pieces in there. You'll have to get your own notebook, but we've color coordinated all the inside parts because I love to color coordinate stuff. And this also color coordinates with our CHS project. So it all color coordinates. Makes my heart happy. Hey, Patricia, I love it too. And we're going to let her. Hey, Brenda, Barbara, I'm so glad you're here. Wendy's is supposed to be there today, your book today. If you have Audible, she also has an audio book, and I've been listening to that. I've already gone through her book, paper book, several years ago. but I got the Audible version, and she's actually reading it. It has been so good for my heart. She's very poetic. She has a beautiful voice. She's from Canada. She's a Canadian. But it's been very peaceful listening to the Audible book. I'm excited about it too, Jackie. Diana, can't wait for my kit. Perfect. Brandy's been down there. Crack-a-lackin'. It was more expensive on Audible. Really? That's good to know. I have an Audible subscription, so I just got mine with credits. I didn't even pay attention to the price, Wendy. Her name is Anne, and I'm going to put it in the comments. Anne Voskamp, and it's 1,000 gifts. So that's what we'll be camping out in with scripture. Always want to include that, but that's what we're going to be doing for the fall and into Christmas. All right, so let me get I've got the two things I want to show you. So when you have your traceables, and I feel like a lot of you know this, but we have a lot of new people. So I want to cover this. So if you get a kit from us, it's going to include traceables. You can also sign up for traceables. Our Creative Hearts members, they get traceables in their monthly workbook every month. But there's different ways you can use these. So this is just a traceable from, I think that was the Be Still journal. So you could just paint this. So if you wanted to just paint this, make sure it's on a sturdy enough paper. And if you are not sure about that, I won't rehearse all of that because I went over that more thoroughly on Friday. Friday would have been, I don't know what Friday's date was. Maybe it was the 4th. I don't really know what Friday's date was, so I probably don't need to guess. But last Friday, I went over in more depth of the types of paper and how it affects your results. So there's not really a right or wrong way to do it. It's knowing how to manage your expectations. So with that being said, just say all you have is the traceable, and you could take your traceable, and if you have a printer, and most of them are, most printers have a scanner on it. So you could lay this on the scanner and put some different paper in your printer and feed it out. So like you could feed out vellum. We'll use that. This is the vellum. You could do the vellum. It's very translucent and it works great for letters when you've got words. You could print this out onto watercolor paper. If your printer would hold it, you could print it out onto other papers and then paint on top of it. But if you don't have any of that, you could also do it the old school way, where you just print out the traceable onto copy paper. Then you take like a number 2 pencil and you scribble all over the back. Remember us doing that in school. Lay this down on top of your watercolor paper or whatever you want to transfer it to. Then you trace it. And then that design comes over onto that paper that's underneath. That is the cheapest way to do it. There's also a way to do it with a light box, and we've talked about that. And that is probably the most versatile, maybe, or maybe it's the simplest way. And I wanted to show you this because I have a big light box that I've had for, I don't know, 20 something years, and I bought a smaller one. This is what a light box is if you're not sure. Okay. This is the front, this is the back. It plugs in. The brand of this is Artograph. This was about $40. You can absolutely get them cheaper. You can get them cheaper. But it's fascinating what this will do. So let me lay this on top. Let's see, Johnette said, is the workbook a half size that opens from the side? Yes. Yeah, you mean the composition book, Johnette? Yes. Wendy, shoot fire. Say that too. I just realized I ordered the study guide and not the book. Oh. Okay, where did you get the Wendy got the paper. You're asking Wendy where she got her paperback. Look, y'all also look on thriftbooks.com. Look on thriftbooks.com also. So I just want to show this real quick, like real simple for anyone who doesn't know how this works. Let's see. Can y'all see that? Well, okay. Where's all my little settings? Try not to get you dizzy. There it is. I don't know why that was not coming up. All right, so this is the light box. So when you hear somebody talk about a light box, that's what they're talking about. You can get smaller ones, you can get larger ones, you can get cheaper ones. There's lots of varieties. All right, so I'm going to turn it on, and that's with this one, you can hold it and it will get brighter, or touch it again and it'll get dimmer. You can play with it. But look at this, okay? So if I wanted to just say, I'm going to get one of these traceables that's from this kit. So this one right here has a lot of details. And for those of you in Creative Hearts, you have this in one of your lessons. You have these flowers, but we added it to this because it just looks good with this journal. Okay, so this is the traceable. Now I'm going to get just a little piece of paper. This is watercolor paper. And look, so I'm going to line it up, and there's the design. So now all I would need to do is take my pencil, just a regular pencil, and just trace. That's all you would have to do. So don't feel guilty for tracing, because even tracing is training your muscle memory, and you're learning something even with tracing. Did y'all know that? Okay, so let me get right here. And then this is onto watercolor paper. So then you can just immediately start start painting this onto any kind of paper you want to use. So you could use watercolor paper, you could use illustration paper. I don't know if it would go through like the heavier stuff like poster board. It might. It very well might. Like if you wanted to make a big sign on a poster board, you could probably do this for that. There's other pieces of equipment that you can use for this, but I have never demonstrated this. So I just wanted you to see it, because in tomorrow's project and in Friday when we do our journal, there's a good bit of traceables in there. Okay. Now, I'm almost finished with it. Once you go over this with your pencil, you have two choices, and I'll show you. All right, so I went over that one with my pencil. Barbara likes to use watercolor pencils to trace. I select the colors that I plan to use in the painting. That's fantastic. Fantastic. That's a great idea. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to do some words, okay? So just say that I want this flower, and I want the words right beside here. These are the prompts that I was talking about, y'all. These are the prompts. Thank you, Sandy, for looking that up, y'all. So thriftbooks.com has the book for $5.99 with $1.99 shipping. Thank you, Sandy. Okay, so just say you wanted, this is one of the prompts to thank you for today's gifts, and you want it to be beside this flower. So you just kind of line it up. And I don't know if y'all can, let me see if I can pull this down so you can see, because I want you to see how it really helps you to be able to design your layout also. So this is on top, but underneath I can see that flower. So now this time I'm going to trace this. I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to trace it onto with a pen. Let's just see what happens. Now, if I mess up, let me make sure my paper's on there. It is. If I mess up, wait. Did you see what I just did? I was about to mess up. Okay, so here's my traceable. Here's my watercolor paper. I thought I was on my watercolor paper, and then I realized, girl, you are not on your watercolor paper. All right, let's turn it this way. See how I'm able to turn it, but I can still see what's in there. So I want to turn it so that my letters are going to overlap onto my flower. So watch this. Now I'm going to do this. I'm showing y'all this now because I don't know that I'll have enough time to show this tomorrow or Friday. So I just want to do this little part of the technique today because this is for our project for Friday, but it actually applies to almost everything that we do in lettering. Okay, so see, I'm just tracing it with a pen. This is I think, yes, the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen. These are great pens for this kind of work because they're permanent. Okay, so there it is. Y'all see that? So here's my artwork. There's my word, and it's ready for me to paint. Unless, let me move this. And this time I'm going to put this in the bag because I did not do a good job taking care of my big one that I have. So I'm going to do a better job taking care of my little one. But what you could also use this pad for the light box for, just say, like, I know Barbara does this. She loves to go to the gardens and she takes pictures of flowers and birds and stuff like this. That you could, all my stuff is turning over. That's what's going on down there. You could go take pictures and print it out on your printer, size it the way you want it, put your picture under here. Wait, the light box would be here, then your picture, and then your paper on top, and y'all, you could trace your flowers. I do that many times with my line art. I trace, that's where it comes from, flowers that I have taken pictures of from my yard. Okay, one other tip. If you want this to look more like an illustration, you can trace this with the black. And that's how I used to do almost all of my artwork. So I want to show you this. So now what I could do is go over this with my black Pitt pen and trace again. And I could have done this the first time with the pen, but I wanted to show you that you could do it both ways. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do the whole thing, but because I want to show you a comparison of this. And it feels like this pen is about to die. The only negative about these pens is they don't last forever. And this kind of paper is kind of rough on them, y'all. The watercolor paper is rough on these pens, but they are the best pens, I think, to use. Okay, so half of this is outlined in pen. All right, now let me show you this. I promise we're going to get to the lettering, but I wanted you to see this. All right, so I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. But this is how I used to do all of my artwork when I first started out. Okay, can you see it? This little section is outlined. This section is pencil. And so there's no right or wrong way. It just depends on the effect you want. So when I first started painting, my artwork was more of an illustrative style. And this is how I did it. And then I would paint. If you paint directly on top of the pencil, with it being a number 2 lead pencil, your pencil marks are still going to show underneath. So you'll have a subtle outline. Now, Barbara gave a perfect tip. If you, thank you, Sandy. Did I misspell it? If you, I'm trying to think what I was going to say. So if you do Barbara's tip where you outline it using the colors that you want to paint, then the outline just blends in with your painting. So does that make sense, y'all? Tell me if that makes sense. Okay, so let's just say this is a water-soluble pen. Look at this. So what I can pencil, so now I can outline it with that. And then whenever I paint and I'm using this same color, it's just going to all blend together. And it's not going to stand out as much as a pencil, the lead pencil marks do. I think we've got a good enough area to experiment with. This is how you learn, is to experiment. It's how you learn. Okay. That's good to know, Deborah. Deborah said that she has the, I think that says My Life light box, 8.5 by 12. She loves it. She got it from Amazon. She has 3 brightnesses. It goes through cardstock. They're a really great art tool to have in your toolbox. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take some water and show you. Well, I think I'm going to show you this. I want you to see this so that you can be thinking about how you want to do yours. So you could take, especially you CHS ladies, you have all kinds of traceables in your library. So you could take your art traceables and add lettering to them. Okay, Julia likes to use the gray micron pens to trace her designs. That's a great option too. Thank y'all for helping each other with the book name. Okay, can you, let me get to the line art. Okay, and then this one, this particular flower, we did this shape earlier in the, I don't remember what month it was, but I think it was Whispers of Autumn. So you could actually change this. And I think this would be a cool idea to change the flower as we get closer into winter. Or or you could make it a succulent. These are some flowers that I don't remember where I found them. Okay, so let's see if I've got it enough to show you. And I don't know if Diane is watching or not, but I found that flower that I was looking for at the retreat, and this is the one that I made with the oil. So I'm going to put that right there so I don't forget that thing. All right, so now I've got a little bit of blue, and I'm going over the areas that I had that blue shade of watercolor pencil. Okay, so let me show you now. All right, so let me show you with this. That way you can see what I'm pointing to. This little area here is where I outlined it with pen or marker and erased the marks. This is where I outlined it first with pencil, and then I outlined over it with this watercolor. So the watercolor pencil just bled into the paint and you see the pencil. So if you don't want to see the marks, you would have to have only the pencil, only the watercolor pencil. Okay, see that one? So let's do it. I think I've got a little bit of color left. So it's a more subtle outline. What I would recommend that you do if you're not sure and you're new to this, play around with it. Play around with it to find your favorite way. And it could be that you don't necessarily have a favorite way. You just have more, and as you grow more in lettering and painting, you will have more and more projects that will vary. And so depending on the project, you might want this style, or a different project, you may want this soft, super soft, subtle flower, or you want the pencil. But this gives you an idea of a way you can use the traceables to help you with your artwork, but also with your lettering, because the more you trace, the stronger that muscle memory is going to get with it. Okay, so I showed you that. That's what I wanted you to see. Let me move this. Now, let's get our traceable out. And I think I stuck it in my notebook. I hope I did, so that I could find it. Oh, y'all, I just had it. This is the story of my life. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, here we go. All right. Are y'all ready to let's look at 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. And I had a note for myself to show the application Bible version. So let me pull it up in my ESV. And I think it was Brandy was asking me what Bible that I have. Mine is the single column journaling Bible by Crossway. I really like this Bible. I like this. I think it's about an inch or 2 inches. Let's see. Because what I use mine for is 2 inches. It's still not enough to do all the writing that I want to do in it, but it helps me notate keywords so that I can come back to it later and look deeper at it. Okay, so here's 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. And so you can see where I've underlined, I've circled, I've underlined again. And then over here on the side, that's like my keyword of this verse really spoke to me. And this would be a good one to go back and journal in my journal. Okay, so this is it here. Let me grab my life application version. Is it Life Application or Amplified? Well, let's see. Amplified. This is my Amplified. I said Life Application for some reason. All right, 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. Okay. I have the large print single writing space. I think it's important, y'all, that with your Bible, get what works for you. If you need it to be super large, I've seen super large print. Get it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You need to have something that you can use. And it's possible that you have a Bible, a different Bible for study, and then one that you take to church that's maybe smaller. I have that also. So take care of yourself. We need to take care of ourselves physically, like going to the doctor, or like me, going to physical therapy for my ears and my neck. But we need to take care of ourselves spiritually. So I love this version because it helps me so many times to read the verse in this version, and y'all, words pop off the page to me. Jennifer said, I love using the Amplified for studying individual scriptures. Yeah. So let's look at it, okay? So what this Bible is, and I can't wait to tell y'all what's coming. We should be able to announce it this week, but I'm just tickled about it. This is like, it expounds on how they would have understood it when in the biblical times. So 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9 says, let me find it. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Now, that in itself is very powerful. It's a good verse to memorize. It's a good verse to have all around you. And we have a traceable for it. My little stacks. Hang on to them. Please tell me I have that one. You know what? I bet I've already put it in my journal. So, all right, hang on just a second. I must have. Okay, so let's go back over here to the journal. Yes, that's the one I did on this paper. All right, so hang on. I got to make it bigger so you can see. So this is just a bag, a brown bag. And I wanted to test it out, putting it in here. And I just felt like it was so perfect for this. We are so much alike, Sandy. We could be twins. But I kind of sort of know what are in my stacks. Sort of. Okay, so for power, all right, my grace is sufficient for you. Why? For power is perfected in weakness. And then there was my prayer, praying this back to him. Father, help me accept weakness and accept my weakness and receive your power. It just, whenever I was reading this, it just made me wonder if we don't accept our weakness. I'm asking this, if I won't accept my weakness, am I hindering God's power from showing through me? I don't know. I just wonder that. So I was wondering. So that's how I turned that back into a prayer. Father, help me accept my weakness so that your power, so that I can receive your power. Because if you live long enough, and I think most of us have, we can fight against things, or we can release them to the Lord and offer it up as an offering, as a sacrifice, for him to use for his glory. And I truly believe he does. So let's read this now in the Amplified. Yes, Josephine, organized chaos, because we know which stack it's supposed to be in. It's just don't mess with the stacks, right, Cindy? Don't mess with my stacks. Okay, so in 2 Corinthians 12:9 from the Amplified. Now I need to get it back down here, y'all. Hang on, we're fixing to go for a ride again. Okay. But he said to me, my grace, and then in parentheses, my favor and loving kindness and mercy is enough for you. And that in itself makes me want to cry. Sufficient, whenever it says enough, he means sufficient against any danger and enables you to bear the trouble manfully. For my strength and power are made perfect, and in parentheses it expounds on that word perfect. It's fulfilled and completed, and show themselves most effective where in your weakness. So his power shows themselves most effective in my weakness. Therefore, and this is Paul, I will all the more gladly glory in my weakness and infirmities, so that the strength and power of Christ the Messiah may rest, and listen to this part in brackets. Yes, may pitch a tent over and dwell upon me. So let's take that verse, and in our last few minutes, let's put it in our journal and do an illustration with it, okay? So I've got it right here on my little paper, and I've got this on the back. We did this with CHS. Your power is perfected in my weakness. So you could list your weaknesses here and then do a praise of thank you for your amazing grace. Okay, so let's do it over here. All right. Let me get my pencil for this and a good eraser. And what else do I need? I need a marker. And I hope you'll do this along with me, or you'll do it at some point, and work through it for yourself personally, because we're all at different places. We all have different struggles, but we all have struggles of some sort. We all do. One is not worse than the other. Okay, so I've got 3 different colors, and let's get over to this part, to this first part. He said to me, my grace, my favor, and loving kindness and mercy. So what I want to do is, let me do this teal color for grace. So I'm going to draw out grace. Big, like that. Then I'm going to take this gray color, and underneath it, I'm going to write out how it's expounded. All right, my favor. And I'm using a little bit different font or style for this. Favor and loving kindness. And not only that, and mercy. So then up here, I really want a green for God. All right, so God said, my grace. Okay, so God is green. I'm going to put that up there. All right, so then I'm going to go back now with purple is, this word, enough. That is a word that a lot of us struggle with. What is it enough? Am I enough? Did I do enough? God said, my grace, my favor, and loving kindness and mercy is enough. Is enough for you. Okay, but we could make this even more personal, and this is what I would love for you to do in your journal. Put your name there. So, Sandy, it's enough for Sandy. His grace is enough for Josephine. His grace is enough for Jennifer. His grace, His favor, loving kindness, and mercy is enough for Deborah. His grace, His favor, His loving kindness is enough for April. His grace, His favor, His loving kindness is enough for Wendy. His grace, His loving kindness is enough for Julia. His grace, His loving kindness, and His mercy is enough for Patricia. His grace, His loving kindness, got to move my thing up a smidgen, and mercy is enough for Barbara. His grace, His loving kindness, His favor, His mercy is enough for Johnette. His grace, His loving kindness, His favor, His mercy is enough for Jackie. His grace, His favor, His loving kindness, His mercy is enough for Brenda. His grace, His loving kindness, His favor, His mercy, it's enough for Cheryl. His grace, His favor, His loving kindness, and His mercy is enough for Pam. And guess what, y'all? It's enough. His grace, His favor, His loving kindness, and His mercy is enough for each of you and all that you bring with it. Isn't that right? Because you bring a lot of baggage. I do too. And His grace, His favor, His loving kindness, His mercy is what? It's enough. We're not lacking. It's enough. So do this in your journal. Let's do the other part. It's enough for you. But now, what does enough mean? Well, guess what enough means? It means sufficient. Means sufficient against, my eyes keep drifting, any danger. And listen to this last part. Enables you to bear the trouble manfully. So nowhere in here does it say that you're not going to have trouble. Oh, goodness. Let's get Terry on there. Absolutely, Terry. And anybody else that I might have missed your name or you're watching, add it and we'll get it back under here because I'm going to show you how this is going to play out. So it's enough, and that means it's sufficient against any and enables you to bear the trouble manfully. Okay? And then it says, for my strength and power, and I think let's put that on the next page. Whenever I read for, I'm hearing because, whoa, move back over here. All right, that's going to be bumpy, so I'm going to have to write it on this page. That's okay. Okay, for, okay. God is green. For my, it'd probably help if y'all could see it. I sure did, didn't I? Okay, good catch, April. I thought it looked short. Okay, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to ever feel danger, or it's just that his grace is enough for it. He is with us. Let me add that because I don't want to miss that. There's Carol. Thank you for adding yours, Carol. Yeah, I didn't get that at all, did I? Danger. Good catch. For my, here's this big word. We all want this, don't we? Don't we all want this? If we're not lifting weights and doing workouts, we want strength in other areas, don't we? For my strength and power. My strength and power are made, and look at this next word, perfect. See, I have personally not written it out like this, and I think it's really powerful to see this because I think I would say we all want strength. We all want power. The natural human in us wants power, and we want perfection. So many of us struggle with perfectionism. We want all three of these, but we don't have to have them because he has them and they show up in us. They don't belong to us. They're his. They're his. And they show up in us when we are weak. So let me write the little definition. Okay, I keep losing my place. For my strength and power are made perfect, and that means fulfilled and completed. We want fulfillment, don't we? We want completion. We want to feel like we are complete, and we are complete in Christ. We are. Let's just keep reading. it ministers to me for sure. Fulfilled and completed, and show themselves. Look at this word. Effective. Do you want to be effective? If you're a parent, you definitely want to be an effective parent. Effective. If you're a wife, a daughter, an employee, show themselves effective where? In your weakness. In your weakness. Karen's in our little tent too. Thank you, Carol. I got Carol and Karen in under our little tent that we're about to make. Okay, so let's read this little section. And I really need to soak on this. For my strength, this is God. God is green. For my strength and power are made perfect, fulfilled and completed, and show themselves effective where? In Karen's weakness, in Carol's weakness, in April's weakness, in Bobby's weakness, in Holly's weakness, in Barbara's weakness, in Terry's weakness, in Jennifer's weakness, in Cheryl's weakness, in Sandy's weakness. He shows himself effective in Josephine's weakness, in Deborah's, in April's, in Julia's, in Wendy's, in Patricia's, Barbara's, Johnette's, Pam's. So if you read this backwards, so if you put your name, I'm going to put my name. If you're doing this on paper, put your name. Get a color that's for you. In Pam's. Okay, so if I said to you, in my weakness, hey, Cassie, this goes for you as well. In Cassie's weakness, God, strength and power are perfect. They're fulfilled and completed and show themselves effective in the very part of me that I don't like. I don't like to feel weak. I don't like to feel needy. Can y'all relate to that? And I still keep thinking that if I can surrender that to Him and stop fighting the weakness, and that's what I feel like I hear with what Paul is saying. Well, we'll finish reading, and y'all tell me if you agree. Okay, let's go through the rest of this because I want us to build the tent. In your weakness. And now this is Paul. So let's give Paul a color. So Paul, you're blue. So now Paul is saying, because of all that, I can't get my camera going in the right direction. So Paul, this is Paul. Paul says, okay. So because of all that, therefore, because of all those things, I will, what will he do? All, look at these words, all the more, look at this big word, gladly. When was the last time you did something gladly? I will gladly stop doing that. Therefore, I will all the more gladly glory in what? What's he going to glory in? My weakness. And I think it would be even more powerful if you do those cards where you list all the weaknesses, all the things you struggle with, your weaknesses, and just put them here. And infirmities. Infirmities. All the more gladly glory in my weaknesses and infirmities. Why? Why? Why would I ever want to do that? That would be just crazy. That's anti the way the world works. Why? This is scripture journaling. This is taking these scriptures and you're breaking them down into bite-sized pieces so that you can really digest them. So why is he going to boast? Why is he, therefore I will all the more gladly glory in my weaknesses and infirmities. Why? So that the strength whoops. Did I get, there we go. I was like, okay, what did I just do? Oh, goodness. Oh, okay, let me find my place again. I will more gladly glory in my strength and weaknesses so that the strength and power not just any of Christ. And this is what we need to remind ourselves. What did Christ's strength and power do? His strength and power enabled him to no longer be captive to death. He overcame death. He rose from the grave. He left the tomb empty. His strength and power left the tomb empty. Christ the Messiah let's see if I can get this to fit, may rest let me get my gray color. Yes. Rest. It may pitch a tent over and dwell upon. Here we go again. Let me get a different color. Let's get this light blue. So this is the tent. This is our little tent. Looks like a little pup tent, but you know, it's a pretty big tent for it to hold all that strength and power. But this is our tent. And guess where we are? Guess where we are? Let me show you. It is over and it dwells upon us. So here's Patricia. All her weaknesses. Here's Cassie and all that she brings with her. There's Karen. There's Carol. There's April. We're all in the little tent. There's Bobby. There's Holly. And seeing this visual is like, okay, I'm ready for you to have these weaknesses, Lord. I really want you to have them so that your strength and your power, I want it to rest on me. I want it to pitch a tent over me. So yes, I will all the more gladly say, yes, I'm weak in this area. It all belongs to you. I want to give it to you so that you can pitch a tent over me and dwell upon me. There's Karen and Jennifer. Let's get us all in this little tent. Cheryl. I might end up writing somebody's name twice. Sandy's in this little tent and all her weaknesses, every one of them. All your weaknesses, Josephine, fit in this tent, that he's strong and he's powerful and he is able. Deborah's in here. I think I've almost got everybody. Am I missing anybody? I got Wendy in here. Did I get April? Yep, I got April. Did I get Barbara? Yes. Johnette. Let's don't forget Johnette. All your weaknesses, Johnette. All of them. All of them. Wendy's in here. Jackie's in here. I'm encouraging you to get in your journal. Brenda's in here, and you draw this out for yourself. Don't worry about it being neat or tidy or color coordinated, or don't worry if you've misspelled anything. Let me get Karen in here and Pam. Did I miss anybody? Marilyn's here. Look how we're all squeezing in here. And we can do that. You remember why? Let me come back out. We can all fit in here because, let's read it again and then we'll close. Remember, God is green. My grace, my favor and loving kindness and mercy is enough for Sandy and Josephine and Jennifer, Deborah, April, Wendy, Julia, Patricia, Barbara, Johnette, Jackie, Carol, Brenda, Cheryl, Pam, Terry, Karen, and all our baggage that we bring with us. It is sufficient against any danger and enables us to bear the trouble. You know, there's a saying, God won't put more than you can bear. That's not true. He will, because we can turn that weakness into offer it up to him so that his grace is enough for all of those things that we come against. He will enable us. Then he says, God is green, for my strength and power are made perfect, fulfilled, and completed, and show themselves effective in your weakness. And I don't know if y'all are like me, but if I list my weaknesses, they are absolute opposite of these words. Are yours? Mine are the absolute opposites. But because of who he is, he's able to show up strong, powerful, perfected, completed, fulfilled, and effective in those weaknesses. So Paul says, okay, Lord, well, if you're going to do that, then I will all the more gladly glory in my weaknesses and infirmities, in my baggage. Why? Because so that the strength and power of Christ, the Messiah, may rest, may pitch a tent over and dwell upon me. And it's big. There's room for all of us. Isn't that powerful? So this is scripture journaling. It's not necessarily pretty, but it's effective. So I want to challenge you. I want to encourage you to get your own notebook and work through this. And I'll close with this little quote right here. This is our quote that I'm going to close with. Okay. Gratitude transforms, here's me, we could probably, most of us, put our name in this little slot too, couldn't we? Overwhelmed strugglers into, get a different color, into triumphant conquerors. Gratitude. And then the last part is important. I'm going to do it in red. Even if the circumstances, whoops, I'm misspelling words, remain unchanged. That's what gratitude does. And I wanted to put it here because I think it lines up with that verse that we just read. This is just a quote. Gratitude transforms overwhelmed strugglers in all their weaknesses into triumphant conquerors, even if the circumstances remain unchanged. That's God's grace. That's His grace. So, happy Tuesday. Tomorrow at 1:30, we're doing the acorn little thing, and I put the link. It'll be on Facebook and YouTube, but I put the YouTube link in the comments somewhere at the top, maybe, so that if you wanted to subscribe to that channel, let's see, I think it's right here. That way you can get notifications, but we'll send you a reminder also. So that's coming on tomorrow, 1:30. And then Friday, Wait. Thank you, Jennifer. It's not tomorrow. I thought tomorrow was Thursday. I'm so thankful it's not Thursday, but thank you, Jennifer. It's not tomorrow, y'all. It's not tomorrow. It's Thursday. Don't listen to me. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's my birthday, though. Tomorrow's my birthday. I think I'll get a cupcake or something. I think I need it today. So Thursday at 1:30, Friday at noon, and the one on Friday is our normal time, but it'll last a little bit longer so we can build out our, notebook. Yeah, I'm glad y'all caught that. Thank you. Yes, and Zoom tonight for Creative Hearts, and I'm just gonna go ahead and tell y'all this. So my plan is to be out of town next week. I signed up for an art retreat in Connecticut. I signed up for it after, I think it was like September 1st or something like that. And it's next week. So if I have time, I am going to record something for next Tuesday, and we'll see. But I won't be live because I will be learning. I will be learning, and I'm excited about it. And I hope to share pictures with y'all and all that good stuff. But yeah, I need to do this to give myself a break and to be fed so that I can pour out. Thank you, Terry, and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. All right. Well, thank y'all. Thank you for the birthday wishes, and thank y'all for being here and being so attentive. And if you do this in your journal, post a picture of it in the comments under here. Share what you did. All right. Okay. Well, I will see y'all, Lord willing, not tomorrow, but Thursday. And then Creative Hearts, I'll see you tonight. And I know where I was going with all that. We're doing a combined meeting because I will be, Lord willing, in Connecticut on Tuesday next week. So we're doing a combined CHS tonight. All right. See you ladies later. Alrighty. Bye-bye.